Good evening, everyone. This is a Friday night edition of Skoldiers and Spice, and it's ladies' night here on Vikings First and SKOL. My friend Shelby Tweten is joining the show. Not only is Shelby a passionate Vikings fan, but she has the best style in the game. I am going to get her thoughts on the Vikings season thus far, and we're just going to have a little girl talk, get to know each other a little better. It's Friday night, so let's have some fun.
Hey man, how the hell you doing? I've been just fine living life with the news and
I was over here
Hi.
bopping.
I know.
Hi, how are
I'm not
you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy that you're here too. I just saw you last game. You were here,
Yep.
the Colts game, and the weather was terrible, but whatever. We had as much fun as we could out there.
Yeah, it was a little misty, but the hair was ruined by the second we got in the game, but
I
we
know
made it
that's the
work.
worst. It's the worst because then when you look back at the pictures with your hair, it's like, okay, nobody that's seeing these knew the backstory of this
And no
terrible
one
weather.
told me to fix it. Like the person that was taking the picture wasn't like, "Hey, your hair looks like shit." Do we swear on here?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
okay.
Of course. Okay. Well,
Always
Shelby,
key to me asking.
I'm going to get your thoughts on the Vikings in a minute, but first I want to talk a little bit more about you. For those who don't know, this is a Vikings lifestyle podcast, so I love to just get to know more about people, their fandom, how you got here, and like I was saying before we started, you have a lot of cool stuff going on. You're a very creative person. So, for those who do not know you, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm from Mankato, Minnesota. So obviously, I grew up with the Vikings in town every summer. And so, really, every summer, as long as I can remember, it was training camp because that was kind of like the big thing that my family did in the summer. And when I was 5, it was my fifth birthday, my dad got me our first tickets to a game because my birthday is December 19th, his is December 29th. So now every year since, we've done like a birthday game together.
Oh, I
And
love.
that kind of is how, yeah, that's kind of how I grew with my dad. It was always me and his thing. And then my mom is a really big football fan. And then I have two brothers. So it's just kind of, we're just a football family. And then when I was in second grade, we were moving and we stayed in a hotel for 2 weeks. And it was the 2 weeks of training camp. And it was the hotel on campus.
Oh,
So it was
wow.
literally like we were like a block away from it, so we were just engulfed in it. And obviously, I think Randy Moss is the first person I remember as like a celebrity crush. I was just like so enthralled by him because he was just so cool and so like out there. And
Yeah.
then when Adrian Peterson got brought to the Vikings, that's when I was like, okay, I want to learn the game. I want to actually be able to talk about it and experience it with my dad instead of just, being a bystander. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's been more fun now that I'm older, have my own money, have my own way to bring all my family to games. So it just keeps getting better every year.
Yeah, people who never got to make it to Mankato and experience that, it was so cool. It's so much different than it is now because you really were
Yeah.
just on a college football campus. It was for 2 weeks. Sometimes people would just stay there the entire time. It was so you could
hmm
interact with the players, and it was just different. It was just different than it now. It's like very corporate. You're very far removed
Yeah.
from the it's hard to even see what's going on. So I miss Mankato a lot. I have some good memories there too.
Yeah, I've only been to one day of the new training camp and I was like, oh yeah, this ain't it. Like, I was just like, it's just so different. Because there you would be a quick trip and you would like run into Adrian Peterson on a bike. It's like, what are the chances? You don't, like you said, you're so far removed now, and I feel like the Vikings are such a team, family oriented organization. And I think
Mhm.
that that fit where now it's like, it is so much more like team and fans.
Yeah,
But
exactly. And those bleachers, like I was saying, they're so far removed from the practice field. And sometimes they're like on that third practice field now. You can't see anything. So it's like you go there to go there, but it's just not anything like Mankato. But all right, let's say hi to the chat quick. Hey Maddie. And Alex Nicoletti is here. Hi, Alex. Got Son of Beavers. Oh, Chris is here too. Thank you guys for spending your Friday night with us. You're the best. All right, let's talk a little bit. Okay, so we know the Vikings are very important in your family. And then you moved to, how long have you lived in LA now?
12 years.
Oh my God, really?
Almost, yeah, almost, yeah, it'll be 12 years in January. Or 11, no, 13 years in January.
Oh my God, wow, I had no idea you had been there that long.
Yeah, my whole adult life.
What brought you to LA?
At the time, I don't know if, I don't think you lived in Minnesota yet, but the winter of 2012 into 2013 was a fucking nightmare. And I went through a bad breakup with a guy that played for the Mavericks. So his face was everywhere in the
Oh God.
town. And I was just like, I had already had some connections out here from traveling out here for singing and stuff. And I was just like, we're gonna go for it because what do I really
Yeah,
have to lose?
yeah, you can always come back. You can
Right.
always come back if you want to. But you were on American Idol, right? I don't think a lot of people know that about you.
I was. I was. Yeah, in high school. So
Oh, you were in
that
high
was
school
a
then?
fun experience. Yeah, I was on it when I was 17, and then I made top 40 on my 18th birthday.
Oh my
So
God.
that's a hard birthday to top. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, you peaked at 18. That was the best one.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Well,
definitely.
that is super cool. All right, let's see. Edmund says Quick Trip has the best spicy chicken sandwiches. I have not tried them, so I cannot confirm or deny that. Got the dogs
They have
fighting
the
in the
best
background.
hot cocoa.
Really?
The best hot cocoa.
Uh,
Yes, I'm like a hot cocoa connoisseur. And there's one thing that we do not have out here, and it is Quick Trip hot cocoa. Like, I don't know,
really?
nothing compares to it. Yeah, if you're a hot cocoa person, try it
Well,
out.
maybe to pick that up for because I love to do hot cocoa for the winter tailgates. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's especially. I mean, for me, I can't drink caffeine really after. Well, I can't drink it at all. But when I could, I couldn't drink it past the morning, and just love having the hot chocolate. So I
Hmm.
will have to go from there then.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay,
awesome.
Tyler Fornes says Dave giving fashion advice is going to be gold. Yeah, we'll have to get him to chime in. um, let's talk about Aries Archive. You have the best fashion sense. Anybody who follows you on Instagram or Twitter, I'm sure, has seen you have the most unique outfits. And I've got an Aries Archive necklace on
Yes, I
tonight.
saw it. I love it.
Uh, let's see. I know Dave is going to put up some of your recent outfits on the screen, but how did you get the idea to start Aries Archive?
Ooh,
Here we go. Your home opener outfit.
yep. Okay, so I love that now, just you introducing me as like one of the most fashionable. That was the goal. That was the original. You said what?
Not one of, you are the most, hands down. It's not, there's no
Perfect,
competition.
perfect. That was the goal. I started collecting vintage Vikings gear in high school. So that was already kind of like my thing. And then my brother's girlfriend, now she's a wife, but I found out she sewed and she kind of was doing that. And I was like, girl, can you sew me something? Yes, that's her. This is the girl that's behind all of the creativity and the hands behind the sewing. She's my bestie. Uh, yeah, I was like, can you just make me something so I can have something that nobody else has? And then she sent me stuff, and I was like, girl, why are we not doing this like
Yeah.
hands down, like for everybody? But then what was funny with that is she would make all these things, and then every single time they get sold after I wear them. So like I don't really have that many Aries Archive things in
Oh,
my
like
closet personally. Yeah,
yeah.
I get the awesome outfits for the game. I give her, my ideas and designs, and she always brings them to life. And then that jacket is one of the only things that I've kept. I was like, yeah, no one's getting that jacket. This puffer right here.
Yeah, that thing is awesome. So how long ago did you guys start Aries Archive?
We started, I think the first time she sent me gear was August 2022. So that was also a great year to even start it, just because that year was so fun and, we were
Oh,
so good that year. I think everyone was really excited. People buy more when we're doing better. Everyone
oh, for
kind of is
sure they do.
like,
For sure they
I don't
do.
need to invest in anything because we suck. But yeah, that was fun. It's been great.
Maddie says he can tell you like 84. Well, yeah, she did say it was her first crush. So,
Yeah. It's so funny because I didn't even really think about it until this last outfit. And I was like looking at my Instagram and I'm like, every single number has been 84. I mean, can you really go wrong with a Moss jersey though? Especially because even for like people that aren't that big into Vikings, you can respect Randy Moss. If I were to wear like a super random jersey, people aren't gonna really know who it is. So I think that probably plays a part too.
yeah, especially when you're deconstructing it. Like there's legendary numbers that no one else has. I know for me personally, I think it's a crime that number 84 is not retired. That's a
Same.
conversation for another day.
Yeah.
uh, I hated that people keep wearing it. I guess Josh Oliver is doing pretty good with it right now. But when Cordero had it, it was like seriously,
Yeah. Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. I hope that it happens eventually. I think that we could petition for it.
I think they said they're not doing it. They're not doing any more retiring of numbers at all. And if they would
What's the
have done it,
reason?
I think I don't know. Maybe they think they're going to run out of numbers.
Oh,
But
maybe, I guess.
I think they would have done it when he made the Hall of Fame if they were going to do it because they've had him
True.
back
Yeah.
since then. So it's a bummer, but yeah, Dave said lack of numbers, so that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, okay, so so the white pants. Let's talk about those because we just had them up.
Yep.
You wore those the last game. How were you like paranoid you were going to get them dirty or what?
Yes, I was paranoid. The one thing that I have run into with Minnesota games is you don't know what's going to happen with the weather.
Yeah.
And it seems to be the issue of my two Minnesota games this year is they were completely different than what I was expecting weather-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And so okay, so this is what's crazy. I'll fly in and I don't try the outfit on until like the night before. So I just have to hope that the outfit works out.
Oh my
And so
god.
this time I was only there for 36 hours, so I didn't even get a day before. I had 5 minutes before we left to put the pants on. They ended
Oh,
up not fitting over my hips. So my mom and I had a spatula and baby powder to work my way into the pants. And
oh
then they
my
were
god.
so long, we had to like safety pin them up to make sure that they didn't drag on the ground. And yeah, I mean, I was very careful outside. Obviously, once we get in, it was pretty good, but then this kid in front of us was jumping on the seats and it was like splashing the drink on us.
No.
So there's like a lot of things because again, I usually know that they're going to be sold after that. So it's different if it's like my stuff and then I ruin it, you know. But I think the funniest moment of the game was I had to go to the bathroom mid-game, and my mom had to go into the handicap stall. And we were like having a full-blown panic attack trying to get it on and off so I could go to the bathroom. But beauty is
Oh my
pain.
oh my
Yeah.
God, that is stressful. Because I always say, I mean, it's obviously a different situation, but I always say like paying for the the parking pass for tailgating,
Hmm.
it pays for itself just being able to take all of those layers off and leave them outside and not have to bring them inside. Because,
Right.
it's outside. You've got like 3 layers, 2 layers of clothes on. If you take them in, all you're going to do is like throw your clothes on the floor. Right. So it's like,
Yep.
I can never give up this parking spot for that reason. But I can't imagine having the white pants. And I didn't realize you couldn't even get into them. That's a crazy story.
Yeah. And I didn't know what I was gonna wear on top. So I like ordered a top just hoping and praying that it was gonna match. And like I didn't even know that the puffer was gonna match. There was a lot of things that kind of go in behind the scenes, but we always work it out. And from the outside, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." So it's funny hearing like the other side of things.
Yeah, it all works out. So that's good. But okay, let's check the chat. We have got Chris Gates is here. Hi. I was just listening to the TED report earlier today and you were missed on there. Chevy Chase, hi. You guys know I gotta get the bigger font on the chat. But hey guys, and we have 36 people watching live. So if you guys can give us a like or
Nice.
subscription, we would really appreciate it. Well, let's talk about the home opener outfit.
Yep. Yeah. Another
And that
story
say
behind that one.
the pants are on this is on the website right now too, and so the white pants are
Yep.
also on there. And
Yep.
I know we got a lot of guys in here. They do guys clothes too, so check it out.
Yep. They do. Yeah. So this outfit, if you thought the getting the pants on was a story, that was nothing compared to the torture chamber that was this outfit. Um, I had been planning this outfit for a while. This was like I knew the one thing that I wanted. Um, and again, okay, you think Minnesota September. You're thinking a nice fall day where, it could be a little chilly more at night, but like you want to be, I could rock a crop top type tank top situation. So I'm thinking this is the perfect situation. Well, it decided to be like 90 degrees
And
and
Sunny.
sunny, and we're like ants under a magnifying glass in this. Oh my gosh, I felt like I was in a greenhouse. So it was
Even
just,
yeah, they didn't have the air on in there or anything. It was so hot in there.
it was so hot, and everyone was complaining about it. So it's like, imagine wearing a wool blanket in 90 degrees. And it was just funny because as I would walk through, people would be like, "Oh my gosh, that outfit's amazing. I know that you're dying though." And I'm like, "You're correct." Like I was dripping sweat in places I shouldn't drip. Um, and I was just like using the program, and it was sticking to my legs and just sticking everywhere. I mean, obviously it looks great. Like I was so happy with how it turned out. But by the time we walked back to Corner Bar where my car was, I was like, I need to change like in the car. I can't be in this anymore. But since it was like stuck to me, I was crying and like hyperventilating, trying to get it off in this like enclosed. Exactly. That's exactly how I felt. Um,
Because
in this small car.
there's no stretch to that, I would imagine.
No, no
Yeah.
stretch. So my mom is like trying to like, the top was a corset, so we just took the strings out completely, and she's like trying to get it off in this like tiny little car. But again, beauty is pain. It all worked out. It's one of my favorite outfits that she's done, so it was all
Yeah.
worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah, it looks so good, and the pictures are great. Obviously, It's been really
Thank you.
frustrating this season. The weather um, for the home games, it's every single one has been opposite of what it should be, and then the one
Yes.
normal temperatures, it was raining. So it's
Yep.
like that October 20th game. I want to say it was like 80 degrees, so it was not a fall day. And
Yeah, it's crazy.
now we're going into 4 home games in December. So thanks for that, Roger Goodell. But I
Right.
saw Maddie asked for the website. It is ariesarchive.com. And Two
I
Evil
think
is
it's
here.
the
Okay.
Aries,
Oh,
the
is it the?
ariesarchive.com. Let me
Oh,
make
I'm
sure
sorry.
actually. Let's
Oh,
just make
okay.
sure
All
because
right.
I don't
Dave has
want
got,
to be wrong. Oh, you
I
got
think
it?
yeah, Dave put up there. It's the Aries
Okay,
Archive. You're
perfect.
right.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
Um, okay. I saw, okay. Well, this is a great transition since Two Evil brought it up. He said, cut JJ McCarthy. But what were your thoughts when that tweet came through? What was it, Wednesday? And it said that he had at first it was that he had surgery and then
hmm
some details. But what did you think when you saw that?
You know, I've talked about it a little bit because it's been topic of conversation all year of like what happens if Darnold, especially in the first 5 games, what happens if he's this good throughout the year and then we win some playoff games? Do we cut him or do we go to JJ McCarthy? And what I've said the whole time is we don't know what's going to happen with his injury. Like we need
Mm-hmm.
to be prepared that he comes back next year and like still may need another year to sit, especially if he's not practicing all year and then maybe he gets to training camp next year and they don't think that he's ready. Seeing that definitely kind of worried me a little bit more just because you don't ever want to see that, with your quarterback, with a key player. And especially like, I feel like we haven't gotten many details. Like, how did it even get to a point that that happened? So there's
Mm-hmm.
just too much unknown. Um, and I think that if this would have happened within the first 5 games, people would have been like, oh, that's cool. Like, whatever, we could just have Darnold for another year. But honestly, now that the last couple games haven't been his best, I think people are a little bit more stressed. But hopefully, he's got time. It's like, what, 8 months until he needs to really be ready for training camp. So hopefully, he's young, right? He's like 22.
Yeah, he's young. Hi, Cora. I see Cora is here. Legend of Cora. Hey, girl. Here for
Hello.
here night. Good to see you. Yeah, I thought when it came through and it said it was surgery, it was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking
Mm-hmm.
kidding me? Really? But I guess now they're just saying it was a procedure, it was something exploratory with an
Yeah, like an
injection.
injection. Yeah.
Yeah, all I've got to go off of, I'm not no orthopedic surgeon or anything, but I have had 3 knee surgeries. Obviously, I was
Oh,
not
shit.
working with some of the best trainers in the world or the best orthopedic surgeons, but I did go to Twin Cities Orthopedics, Egan location last time, so that was nice. You could look out the recovery room and see the Vikings Museum, and I remember
Oh, that's
thinking,
cool.
"Is this House of Horrors what I want to be looking at right now?" Because
Right.
the Vikings Museum actually is awesome for anyone who hasn't been. I didn't want to go for a long time because I thought maybe if you guys win something, I'll come to this museum.
Right.
They ended up inviting me, and it's actually super cool. So definitely, you guys go if you haven't been. But meniscus is supposed to be the easiest thing to recover from, and
Yep.
I. So I thought, okay, well, this is great that this is happening now because they went for the full repair instead of the like the trimming, which will make it more permanent and less likely to happen in the future. But yeah, again, me too. I'm like, why would it just be swelling up now? Also has the best trainers. But it was just like, wow, of course this would happen. Like the Vikings finally draft somebody, they move up, draft their guy, and then this is the situation. We got to see him play one preseason game.
Yeah.
But like you said, it should be fine. The recovery timeline still is fine. I don't understand how they're coming out and saying, "Oh, this doesn't change the timeline." It's like, well, how does it not? If he's having swelling, he's not supposed to be having. But
Right. And then why
whatever.
did you tell us? Why stress
Yeah.
us out for no reason then? It was just a scope.
Maddie says just a scope. had an injection for swelling. So, and Dave corrected us. He will be 22 in January, so he is only 21 right now.
Oh, really young, yeah. He'll
Yeah.
be fine.
So going into the season, what were your thoughts? I know you said that, you thought Sam would continue to play, but what was your record-ish prediction? Where did you see this team stacking up?
I was definitely more towards just wanting to be 500. Like I just wanted to be, 9-8, 8-9 situation. I remember I was on my podcast like for the preseason, and I was like, look, I just want to have a fun year. I want to win the games that I'm at. I
Yes.
want, that's always how it is. I want to win the games that I'm at. I don't want it to be like super embarrassing because obviously, with Justin Jefferson, I feel like I always have a fear of like I don't want him miserable. That's
Yep.
the main thing. I don't want him to be like
I
don't
want
want
out
to
of
be
here.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, I would have never in a million years thought that we were 7-2 by this point. The second that we won that 49ers game at home opener, I was just like, oh, maybe this is going to be a little bit different than we thought. And it is true, like, really, the whole question of preseason was Sam Darnold because we
Yep.
have the weapons everywhere else. Like, there wasn't really a worry about, the defense or the receiving core, anything like that. It was kind of just like, well, it's going to depend if Sam can do it or not. And luckily he could do it. So it's been a great, great time.
Yeah, I think
It's
it
always
definitely
better
caught.
when it's better than expected.
That's always my motto. I would rather go into it with low expectations and be surprised than go in thinking, oh,
Yep.
this is another NFC championship season. And then you miss the playoffs, like the 2010 team when Brett Favre came back.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
the biggest heartbreak because I went in thinking, okay, everything's going to be different this year. They're getting to the Super Bowl. Fuck Bounty Gate. That's not happening again. And then what did they win? 6 games that year or something? It was terrible.
Yeah. Even
Uh,
now, like even in the first 5 games, there'd be so many people would be like, "Oh, so Super Bowl, Super Bowl." I was like, I don't even allow myself to think that. After 2017, that Eagles game, I will never put that in my mind again, ever. Like I was sobbing, throwing up, like my dad was saying I was so dramatic. I'm like, first off, this is my greatest heartbreak. So I know you lived through 98, but this is me right now, okay? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I don't even like, I was thinking maybe it could be Vikings Lions NFC Championship. And maybe that's still an option, but I try to have the lowest expectations possible.
2017, yeah, that was the absolute worst. I think they probably all are the worst at the time, but I
Yeah.
still think that's going to hold up as the worst because it was all the way that all the cards were falling. It
Yeah.
made me feel like, okay, there is a reason we have suffered as much as we have, and it's because we are going to have the first home Super Bowl in history, and
Yep.
we are going to. So
Yeah.
I hyped myself up so much on this is the storybook ending. It just seemed like it. And then we all know what
I was
happened.
actually I was writing for a mental health website at the time. And my article of that week was Minnesota Vikings show you how to never give up. And it was like a whole story about like the Minneapolis miracle and like us overcoming all of this and feeling like the curse is being lifted. And then the NFC Championship happened. Oh my gosh. Pain,
Yeah,
pain.
terrible, terrible. I didn't mean for this. This was supposed to be fun. This was Friday's night, ladies' night. I'm sorry,
I know,
guys.
I'm triggered. I got PTSD. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's a therapy session as well. That's what you do
Yeah,
with your girlfriends.
exactly.
You vent about things. All right, let's see the chat here. We've got okay, people are having a lot of discourse about JJ McCarthy. Some don't want him
Mm.
staying until 2026.
Ooh.
Cora says, put any QB in our offense and they will be good. I I don't know. I don't know.
We think
What do you
Will Levis could come in and do the same? Do
I
we
personally
think that?
don't.
I
I
don't because
personally
I think these last two games have proven that for me because I've been calling it the Justin Jefferson effect. I think going into the season, everyone was like, oh, well, it doesn't matter how Sam does it because he can just chalk it up to Jefferson because we
Mhm,
have the weapons. But now it's like he's not even looking to all these other weapons that we have, and he's
mhm.
throwing into double, triple coverage because he's like, oh, well, I'll just throw it to Jefferson and he'll make a play. And then it's like, now we have an interception and we're all pissed off.
Yeah, he has tunnel vision sometimes for sure. And I mean, that's a concern going into this week against the Titans because they have the number one pass defense in the league. They are a little banged up at that position, but even with the injuries, they are still doing pretty well there. So I'm sure we are all still concerned about after seeing the interceptions last week that could happen
Yeah.
again. But I think if they focus more on those short passes like they kept doing with the tight ends, then hopefully they can avoid that. I hope that KOC this week is going to talk to him like, hey, maybe in the red zone we should just play it safe.
Yeah, and we have Aaron Jones, so hopefully he's really utilized this week as well. I think that we need to kind of unleash him a little bit more. But Kevin O'Connell had an amazing scheme last week. It literally was just
The
Sam
turnovers.
was, yeah. But I,
Yeah.
I, I think that my conspiracy is that they wanted to really start off Romo's career like throw him in there. Hey, 4 for 4. Now you have the confidence to kick when you need it for the rest of the year, hopefully.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for better than that. Could not be more polar opposite than the last time the Vikings drafted a kicker, which was Daniel Carlson. We all know how that ended up for that
Yeah.
poor guy. Thankfully, he ended up well for him ended up going to the Raiders, and now he's gotten that out of his system. But all right, let's see. I saw that Daniel is here, and he says Bucky's has chicken sandwiches 1,000 times better than Quick Trip. I have no idea what Bucky's
What
is.
is
Daniel,
Bucky's?
I don't know, and it's spelled BUC-EE. Never heard of that. Um,
That must be some Wisconsin shit or something.
Chevy
That's
Chase reminding us of 1971 and 1975 seasons. Oh, he wants to talk about those. Well, I don't know. You'll have to get me a documentary or something on those Chevy. I
yeah.
haven't.
I feel like I don't know much
Um,
about that.
oh, Cora brought up a good point. She said that Dobbs obviously was successful and Mullins had, I don't know, did Mullins have success? I just remember that Raiders 3-0 game and thinking,
But I think that
I,
those were more off the high too. It's not like Dobbs came in and had more than 3 good games. It was
yeah.
just so it's like
Um,
a whole season. I don't know.
Too Evil wants to know, do you ladies like the Mayo Man, Will Levis? I will say, I'm very passionate about mayonnaise in general. So when I saw though that he puts it in his coffee, that was a little too far for me. A little too far for me. So
That's
not only is
so
that weird,
bizarre.
but I don't think he's a very good quarterback either.
Right. Yeah,
uh,
I just all I think about with him is his girlfriend on draft night and how embarrassing that whole situation was. Like that is literally all I can think about. And he's just sitting there and she's thinking that he's going to get drafted sooner. And now look, it makes sense. He's
yeah,
not
he
as
broke up
good as
with her,
people
right?
thought.
And didn't he break up with
Yeah.
her? Yeah.
I would break up with her too. Shit.
Yeah. All right. Alex Micheletti, figuring out running back is going to be more important next season since Aaron Jones is only one deal. That's a good point. I think that
Yeah.
deserves more of a conversation than the Sam Darnold thing because I don't see any scenario in which Sam Darnold is still here. And yeah, Alex also brought up the Cam Bynum celebrations and how cool those are.
Yes.
They just
Yeah,
keep
no,
getting.
they do. And it's really cool because that's a one thing that everyone's talking about, you know? Like I have people all around the country that are not Vikings fans that send it to me on Instagram or Twitter and it's like, do you think that I haven't seen this? Like I'll get
Right.
dozens throughout the week. I'm like, yes, I've seen this already. I get it. It's amazing.
Right, exactly. Edmund Bucky sounds like it's a made up place. I agree. I don't think that it sounds like a real place either. Okay, I saw something else. Oh, Cora, Dan says, hi. Hello, Dan. Dan sold me out this week with leaking my Blue Sky tweets. Or what are we calling them? Are you on Blue Sky yet?
No.
No. Okay. It's fun. It's fun. It's like the
Is
new
it
version.
just like Twitter? Oh, okay.
Exactly. Almost
Got
the
it.
same. Jack Dorsey, who created Twitter back in the day, he's the one who created it. So it's very similar. But people are screenshotting my Blue Skies and sending them to Twitter, which they're separate. Okay, please stop doing that. But okay, all right. Let's see. We've been on here for 42 minutes. I know you need to get going, so let's wrap it up here. Okay, how are you feeling about the game this week? Do you trust Sam? What's your temperature with Sam?
I'm hoping that he's kind of shaking it off. I do have confidence in him. I think that when
Oh,
he's,
there's Bucky's. Okay,
oh,
I
what the
think I've heard
fuck
of it.
is that?
Is it in
Is
Ohio
it
or
a
something?
grocery store?
I think it's like this superstore that has all these weird trinkets and stuff. I don't know. Tell us what it is, please. As I saw someone on Twitter once saying they drove all these miles just to go to Bucky's and they were literally recording like videos. They were doing like an unboxing of their Bucky's trip.
What?
Yeah, you know, on
Huh.
upper Midwest, when you drive across and you see billboards that it's so many miles to what's the store? It was a drugstore. Anyways,
I don't know.
Bucky's is a glorified truck stop, if you want to call it that, but it's
Okay.
ginormous. It is huge. And they take everybody, and you go inside, and they have everything. They have a brisket station. They have
God.
all sorts of goodies that you can get. This wonderful, I think they call them buck nuts. It's a popcorn deal. It's just absolutely wonderful. You can find anything you ever want, dream, or desire in a Bucky's. It's more like a high-class Walmart that's a gas station with 100 plus stalls. It's amazing. And the food is fantastic.
All right.
It is a
Interesting.
real treat. And there'll be billboards here in Texas. Hey, it's 150 miles to the next Bucky's. And you want to stop.
Bucky's
Wall Drug.
Lure.
Thank you, Chris. Wall Drug. That was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, well, we're going to
Wow.
have to.
Okay.
Well,
If you
I'll
get
have
down south to Texas,
Bucket list.
and they're expanding across the south, Kentucky, I think, is the furthest north one. You've got to try. It's a thing.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll have to plan our next Vikings road game to wherever has a Bucky's location, the nearest
Yeah, I
one.
guess so. Shit.
How about that? But okay, well, yeah, we've got the fight starting soon. Are you Jake Paul girl or Mike Tyson? Where are you going?
Mike Tyson. Please tell me, is there anyone that's cheering for Logan or Jake Paul or whatever?
You know, the first go round when this was supposed to happen, I kind of was. I watched, the Jake Paul documentary on Netflix, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool how the guy is trying to like improve, play boxer protections and bring awareness and get the boxers who are lower on the card who aren't getting paid enough. And I thought that was all really cool. So I was kind of rooting for him a couple months, whenever that was, they were supposed to originally fight. But now, fuck Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, hope he beats his ass. So,
Yeah, I just love Mike Tyson in general. His story is really cool, and I just think he's such a fun fighter to watch. So I hope he comes out and just is exactly who he is. Like, I don't want it to be anything fake because we know how amazing he is. And so I think it's going to be crazy seeing Jake Paul because there's not really many guys where that's a reality check. Like, that's someone that you do not want to fuck with. So even the slap he gave last night in the weigh-in, I was like, Oh yeah, he about to get rocked. Like there's
Yeah, it will
and
be cool
originally
to.
they were supposed to wear a headgear, right? But they're not anymore.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
he like
forward to
said
them
some
rocking.
shit and then Mike Tyson was like, "All right, fuck you then. Now this is a real fight." Maybe that was played
Uh,
into like the script, but yeah, so
I don't know how many rounds do you think it'll go? God, I don't think it'll
I
be
think
long.
it's a I think it's a well, I know like a normal is 12, but they might be doing less because maybe 8?
I
I don't
feel like
know.
he'll. I hope he gets knocked out by like 3 or 2.
I could see 3. Yeah, I could see 3. That's a good amount.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to wrap up with a little predictions segment. For those of you who do not know, I host weekly contests on Splash Sports where it's super easy to play. All you do is look at the games for the week, pick who you think is going to win. It's straight up, no spread, and then it's winner take all. So you can make some good money there. Especially you can take my money because I've been doing this for 2 years every week and I've never won once. So
Oh,
there you go. But
damn.
um, all right, Shelby, I
Damn.
want to get your predictions. Who is your lock to win this week, week 11?
You know, I was looking at him and I was like, I feel like this is the most even week I've seen where it's like a lock. Because you could say the only two that are potentially lock is going to be Green Bay and the Chiefs. Chiefs because it's the Chiefs, and Green Bay because they haven't lost to the Bears in years. But I was
Yeah.
also going to say that I could see that being an upset as well
Okay.
because it's at Soldier Field and the Bears are, I mean, now Caleb Williams kind of been
Fourth
sucking
year.
recently, but they're better than they have been. So that would be kind of cool to see it, that being upset. I think that for a lock, let's say Colts over Jets. Now that I'm looking at it, I could see that being a lock. I think an
Yeah.
upset could be Steelers over Ravens, Bills over Chiefs. But again, the Chiefs, you think every week they're going to lose and they don't. So it's
I know.
just
I'm so sick of it. I hope that they do lose.
the lock is
For-
the Vikings over Titans. That's what the lock is for the week.
I hope it is. Yeah, I how great has the Aaron Rodgers experiment been in New York? It's just oh
Incredible.
god. Okay, so for me, my lock of the week, I am torn between the Packers over the Bears. I of course want that to be wrong, but even though
Right.
the Bears fired their offensive coordinator, I don't know if they're in shambles over there. I think
Hmm.
that I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions over the Jacksonville Jaguars as my lock. Um, Honestly,
Right.
probably too easy for them. And then my upset of the week, I think I am also going to go Steelers Ravens. It's in Pittsburgh, and the Ravens have been kind of shaky this season. So I'm going to go with
Yep.
that. If anybody wants
I
to
didn't
join
even
us,
think about the Lions because I'm trying to not every week on my NFC North. It's like, do you think the Lions are going to win? I'm like,
yeah,
yes. Like, oh my gosh, I'm
I
so
know.
sick of it.
We need them to mess up here soon. But okay, you guys, if you would like to join us and take my money, the link is in the description. Thank you, Shelby, so much for joining me. This has been super fun.
Oh, last thing I want to say, Aries Archive contest giveaway.
Oh, yes, yes. Make sure you talk about that.
Yes, I almost forgot. If you guys, all you need to do, it's so easy to enter, is go follow the Aries Archive on Instagram. You like the giveaway post. That's all you need to do in entry. You said what?
Say what you're giving away. You forgot that part.
Right. The biggest thing, I'm burying the lead. The biggest thing, it's 2 tickets to Vikings Packers, which we are very blessed to give this away because I think that this is going to be a great game, especially this year, because it could really come down to that game for the playoff spot. So we're giving away 2 tickets to Vikings Packers. Why would you not want to at least try to enter? And then we even have a second place option, which is $100 to Aries Archive. So you could go put towards a custom or just get something from the shop. So that's really great. go to Aries Archive Instagram, follow them. If you buy something before then, there's 8 days left in the contest. You get 10 entries, and you can post on your story, tag people. It's super easy to enter. Look, if I could, I would, because I would love to go to Vikings Packers. But
Oh, I
the
know.
tickets are going to you guys, so
Yes. Okay. Dave dropped the link. Thank you, Dave. And yeah, what an awesome prize. Anybody who does not have season tickets, that is the craziest, most priced game of the year. It's obviously
yep,
no brainer. We got to keep the Packers fans out of there. So I hope all of you guys,
please.
even if you don't win the contest. But all right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Tune in to the post-game show at the 2-minute warning on Sunday. Me, Dave, Tyler, Darren, of course, will be there. Maybe, okay, yeah, that's who will for sure be there. So please join us. We'll be discussing another Vikings victory. And again, thank you, Shelby, so much for joining us here on Vikings First and SKOL. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you guys. I had so much fun. See you guys later. SKOL
Yeah.
Vikings.
SKOL Vikings.
Like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And rate us on your favorite aggregator. And a big shout out goes to Sal and her guests on this Vikings First and SKOL production, partnered with the Fans First Sports Network. Thanks, everyone, and SKOL.